May 18th, 2024. Well, the big topic today is the decision a few days ago of Trump to accept Biden's challenge to a debate. I guess it's supposed to be June the 27th on CNN. Um, and so I guess the real question is I tend to think that this whole debate idea was a very bad idea um, because the way I see it is it's a little bit of a alien versus predator type scenario. No matter who wins, you lose, kind of. In other words, and I think that this is there may be a little subterfuge going on. We know that within the Democrat Party, there's a lot of people that really would like to have a different candidate than Biden. It's not so much but because what Biden did, but I mean, look at where he's doing in the polls and everything, looking at his on-stage performance and all of his fumbling around and all. If they could get a more dynamic candidate who didn't have the particular associations he has, but would probably carry forward the policies once they got in office, they would have a way of kind of flim-flamming the public, you know. And so, but how do you? But Biden won't quit. Okay, is the problem. So what might very well be the case is they're trying to lure Biden into a debate. His advisors may have played to his ego and said, "Oh, you can take that that Trump," and therefore he went and challenged Trump. Accepted, you know, Trump said he would debate him, I guess, where or whenever. I don't know if he said however, but the point is that he's allowed. You know, he will agree to the debate. But then the point is, look at it this way: if Trump really were to win the debate, like Trump advocates, particularly somebody like Dan Bongino, thinks it'll be real easy, then that would then might create the situation where Biden really would be leveraged out of the campaign. And so that could be an issue there that would be bad for us because then we might be facing a much more formidable candidate than Biden. So that's one way it could turn out. Of course, the other way it could turn out would be that Biden would win, and of course that would be a loss to have Biden win the debate. And of course, so as I point out, that the whole thing seems to me to be not necessarily a productive thing, and I don't see any reason why we would want, that is, the Trump campaign would want to debate Biden before he's actually formally nominated, and therefore they're kind of stuck with him. Of course, who knows what they're thinking about? I think, but that could be a problem. So anyway, if you like these videos, again, please give me a like. I always need to get more support in the algorithm, and always looking for new subscriptions. So please subscribe, and of course, those that catch me through various social media postings, if you're on Rumble instead, you can of course follow me on Rumble. So because I post over there as well. So at any rate, yeah. So the other thing is everybody's overly confident because of stumbling, bumbling Biden. How can he win? And the answer is very simple. It's called amphetamines. They're probably going to put him on some kind of a upper drug to get him, pumped up like in a State of the Union address before the debate. And he will be much more cognizant and much more energetic during the debate. Plus, they'll also rest him up and do a lot of prepping. And they also, remember, he has insisted on some very strict terms which are designed to give him more of a controllable environment for the debate. No audience to throw him off. The microphones get turned off between when each person's time to speak is ended. And of course, he's going to have very favorable liberal moderators that are really on his side, trying to make him look good and trying to make Trump look bad. So that's the environment that Trump's agreed to debate in. I know it's great. He's confident. He's sure he's the best, all that good stuff. To me, I'm sensing a lot of overconfidence. I mean, everybody's going that I don't. The idea, first of all, Republicans don't win debates. Let's be blunt. Why? Because the Democrats decide who wins the debate because they control most of the media. And usually the somewhat sheepish Fox News won't really contest it with them. And what they usually do is somebody out there with a bias runs a very small snap poll, which usually says the Democrat is sort of ahead or something like that, or, 40% say that the Democrat won, 30% said the Republican said, and 30% said it was a tie. And then before long, it comes out, well, the Democrat won, and now the later polls come out and say, yeah, the Democrat won. Everybody agrees the Democrat won. 70% say the Democrat won because the poll said so. The press put this out, and that's what happens. But it doesn't have anything to do with the reality. I mean, so I'm kind of wondering whether, and since pretty much everybody knows what Trump and Biden stand for, it isn't an opportunity to, surprise the world with, gee, here's my agenda, here's what I'm going to do. I think we pretty much know what either one of them is going to do. So I don't think that's the real issue here. So I kind of get back to this thing that, to me, that Trump blundered, I think, and when he offered to debate him basically under any conditions that he decided to choose. I think that was a real mistake, in my opinion. And I don't see how there's, as I mentioned before, I don't see how much gain it, because even if you win, you probably lose, because that might actually run Biden out of the campaign. And what we really want is a feeble, goofed up Biden on the campaign trail. Because the thing is, they can't keep him on drugs all the time. It will destroy his health. He can't withstand it continuously. But he can do this for a night or two for some special occasion, State of the Union, a debate, that kind of thing. And as we've seen before, he generally does a lot better than you would expect in these events. So and also the expectations for Biden is so low that if he just doesn't stumble over himself, it's kind of a win in a lot of ways. And also, let's face it, Trump is not the greatest debater in the world either when it really comes down to it. Remember, his victory over Republican debates basically consisted of two things. One, Republicans in general have been disappointed in the performance of their politicians. And two, Trump insults them. Okay, everybody says, yeah, he's insulting them. But that ain't going to work in a general thing when you're trying to win over the independent voter. I don't think that insult tactic is really that effective for those people. It is effective. It's, laughing at a Jeb Bush or something like that, gets a lot of support in the Republican world, but laughing at Biden probably looks like not the same thing to the independent voter. And after all, sure, the Republicans are going to be convinced we won. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the hardline Trump people are going to definitely think so. But that's just my viewpoint on it. I don't see it such a great success. I mean, in fact, of course, basically, I think these debates are terrible anyhow. I mean, nobody's discussing any real issues here at all. It's all about one-upsmanship and clever comments and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of like, the bottom denominator of politics. Sort of like a situation I have in my own locality on a state representative race, where we have two presumably conservative Republicans who have gone all out to convince that the other side is a secret Democrat. And I'm like, and I'm just kind of laughing at this situation. I don't know what, there's, I can tell all the top level, state level politicians, they're supporting one or the other. I'm thinking maybe like who's in whose club or who's buddies with who more than any real issue. And I still see the same kind of thing here, that this is, if we could actually have a nice little 2-hour discussion without all the one-upsmanship and calmly discussing, the real issues of what you'd really like to do, that would be an interesting world. But then again, it'd probably put the audience to sleep. So anyway, that's just my view on it. We'll see how it turns out on the 27th, if it actually goes off as planned. But it will be pretty hard for Trump to pull out of it. Maybe the RFK Jr. factor could mess the whole thing up. By the way, I think bringing a third party into a debate is a disaster. I mean, I don't think it just ruins the debate format, frankly. I mean, it'd be interesting to see RFK Jr. debating Biden. I'd like to see that. And I guess it wouldn't be that bad to see him debating Trump either. Maybe a round robin thing like they did way back in the 1980 elections would be interesting, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but that's just my viewpoint. I think this is a mistake, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong. But by the way, I'll as always be posting this on YouTube and Rumble, and of course the addresses of my social media accounts are in the description below.